side, and gradually slipped then into the service here, into the onocoy system, together with Daniel, the thought leader and initial founder. And I do a lot of things. I'm a bit all over the place. The only thing I'm certainly not doing is coding. That's maybe the easiest thing. Look after the finance, organizational topics, marketing, various others. So yeah, that's me, an old guy from Web 2, now new in Web 3, relatively new, and yep.
Cool, perfect. Lucy, you want to continue?
Yeah, hey guys, my name is Lucy. My background is in GNSS and geodesy. I joined onocoy project late in 22, and now I'm in the team of product management, and yeah, happy to answer all the questions.
Perfect. Okay, Nathan, your turn.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. So yeah, Nathan. My background is in software engineering, and I take care of the smart contracts at onocoy.
Okay, all right. Well, then I would say maybe we can get directly started with you, Thomi. I think you've got some big updates. We promised to you guys last month in February that we would also do a recap beginning of March. Now it got a slight bit delayed. We actually originally wanted to do it last week, Wednesday, but then I had to shift a little bit back. But we've got some great news from you. But maybe we can start, Thomi, with a slight recap on February. We've been to some events. There was NFT Paris, there was FIRA, and yeah, maybe you can briefly give some insights from that.
Yeah, so we went to FIRA, which is I wouldn't call it a large, but an important agriculture robots forum in Toulouse, France. It's a good place for us because all these guys need correction services, so it's clearly a demand side at show. We had a strong presence together with one of our partners, demoed, and had a lot of contacts. So that was more on the, say, Web 2 space. On the Web 3 space, we went to NFT, where Daniel was on a panel discussing on energy and sustainability in DeepIn, together with Arkin and Sourceful. And just the other week, or actually early this week, Daniel was also on a panel in Zurich on Crypto Monday, together with DCAP, a crypto asset manager that also does investment into the DeepIn space. So yeah, this was clearly in the deep Web3 space, building our name and building partnerships and getting to know. So that's
perfect.
The presence
I was about to say. Yeah, I was about to say, because you already mentioned the partnerships, which is one of the things that we wanted to touch upon in this AMA as well. Maybe briefly in between, guys. I mean, it's called an AMA, right? And February recap. Obviously, the AMA part is part of that. So feel free to drop your questions already now in the chat. We would go through some topics with Thomi, Lucy, and Nathan. And then at the end, we would do the AMA session and try to really answer your questions. As said, Thomi, you already mentioned partnerships. It would be cool if you can maybe touch base on the partnerships. What's the status here? And yeah, what's going on that side?
Yes. Creating an ecosystem. We're not just having a different sourcing strategy with DeepIn sourcing. We're building an open system, and that requires working with partners on various fronts. So a lot of our effort goes into building these partnerships. I think the last time in December, I mentioned the 6 hardware partnerships we built last year. Now we're talking about partnership on the distribution side. We have signed up UGO, a distribution partner in Romania. They're partially working with our hardware partners, selling their hardware into the market, and they're reselling our services. They're local, so they're acting as our distributor, and that's really cool that we have this now in Romania. We have also worked with Kindhelm. Kindhelm is our distribution partner in Finland. They're also building hardware, and this was the company where we partnered at the FIRA show. So it's a small but nice company from Finland. And then we're working with Drone Dash from Singapore. They're covering more Southeast Asia. They're integrating our service into their professional application drones, especially for agriculture, but they're also reselling our service. So as you can see, we're expanding our coverage. We're working with companies to get local.
Cool. Okay.
And there are many more partnerships in the making. I'll cover them, or my colleagues will cover them as they come.
Yeah. Nick, I see your question. When is TGE? We will, of course, talk about that as well. But at a later point, maybe because it's directly related to partnerships. You asked, is there anything in the USA? So maybe Thomi, if you can make any kind of statement on partnerships in the US, anything on that end?
We don't have a formal part. Well, we have a hardware partner in the US, Spark Fun. They make very robust, more high-end reference stations. On the reselling side, we do not yet have a distribution partner in the US, but we're obviously looking into this as well.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that answers your questions at least partially, or your question, Nick. Then the next part is that a couple of months ago, actually, the focus on the sales or on the business side was shifted a bit more towards the B2B side of things, right? Why is that, and what's the reason, and what's also the status on that?
All right. So a combination of, say, strategic and practical reason has led us to this shift. So firstly, we're building this open system with a horizontal business model, narrow waist, if you want to use the AE16C terms. And that simply works best in a B2B environment. And I'm not sure if I can share quickly a slide on how that looks. Let me see if that works. I think it could work. Go live. Tell me if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes.
Yeah.
It takes a little while. So what you see here is sort of this ecosystem. So onocoy is the glue between the upper part, which is the service side, or software services, and the hardware side below that. We're decoupling this, and we're enabling that people can deploy hardware, make it out there, and other people can just consume the data above. What we have seen is that if we wanted to go to end customer user, every single farmer or every single drone operator, that's a heck of work. That forces us to build a sales organization that goes into each vertical in each country. And rather than do this, we leverage the existing industry, because the response from the existing GNSS industry is really phenomenal. And they want access to our data. We're solving a problem to them, a cost, but also availability problem. And these guys have built out sales channels into all these verticals. So rather than trying to unsettle them, we're working with them, and we're basically teaming up, selling them the data, and they multiply it then.
And I would also say that with the great experience of many team members, I think we have good connections into the existing industry, right?
Yes, well, I think we did some calculation. I think we exceeded 200 years of experience in that industry. Yes, you're right. We do pretty much know this industry, and that gives us open doors. And yes, and we're working on that. We're tapping into this. We do have good response here. We're running tests with several of the big guys, have even an MOU. Needless to say, they're good large names, so they don't want us to necessarily talk about it. But yes, progress is pretty good here. But bear in mind, it's B2B, so it's not that they do a 2-minute test and then they turn their entire supply to onocoy. So it's a solid business. It takes a few months, but once you're there, then it scales well.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. And also on the coverage, as far as I know, there is some substantial progress going on, right?
Yes, we're constantly expanding our coverage. Just lately, we made very good progress in Southeastern Europe. Slovenia is very well covered. We have recently added Serbia. There is quite some activity in Croatia and Bosnia Herzegovina. There are stations rolled out as we speak, also in cooperation with our hardware partners. We do have good coverage in Bulgaria, and our new distribution partner in Romania is also very active, so we do have good coverage there. This is just an area where I'd like to highlight because it seems to be growing very fast, but needless to say, there is grassroots development across the globe. So it's also in South America, etc. But these are really nice areas, and we're working here with our partners. Again, as we have seen partners above before, we see them also on the hardware side, deployment partners. So there's quite some activity here, and it's good progress.
Cool. Okay, that's good. Well, then off to the next topic, the business progress and where we are currently standing, also with regards to any sort of token. Maybe you can dive into that part a bit.
Yes. So we're working towards a token launch, as I mentioned before. We have had a bit of, progress hasn't been as fast as we would have hoped, and as I would have anticipated in December. We have been asked by our lawyers to add more token utility. I think I made that clear. We explored various ways of adding this token utility, and we always needed to check this with the lawyer. So it's working out options, different options. We sort of underestimated how much this takes to have several tracks in parallel to work out the best and the fastest one. But we do now have a plan. The plan is to use the on-chain governance as the token utility that pleases the regulator. We were also looking into topics like how can we use the community to flag areas where they want to see coverage growth. We do pursue this as well, but on a different schedule. This is no longer linked to the TGA. So with this, we're a few weeks behind our original plan. So it's not a hard date, but middle of the year-ish, maybe. Yeah. So it's no longer early, mid Q2. This is unrealistic. So with the delays, we're certainly a few weeks behind that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also what you mentioned in the December update. We know obviously that this is an urgent kind of question that is being asked, like when TGE. It was communicated, I think, in December on the year-end update that we would aim for the first half of 2025, which is still the plan, right? But further details will have to be announced once the roadmap is more clear and the developments are more clear. But as you can see, there is a lot of progress going on different angles, which strengthens the business foundations and eventually makes us, capable of conducting a TGE that is going to be successful in the long term and not just a quick kind of token launch, and then that's about it. Anything to add on that part, Thomi, or you're good?
Oh, I'm basically good.
Okay. All right. Well, then I would say we switch to the next part, which would be with you, Nathan. My understanding was that you are going to give a product update, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We have two updates to talk about regarding the product, and I'm going to share my screen on the moment. I'll present the first one, and Lucy is going to talk about the second one. The first one is something that Paulo, if I recall correctly, touched on in the previous AMA. But the difference this month is that in the interim, this feature has been added to the main website, and that is the Bono to DC, which means that it's possible now. There are two options to acquire data credits, and data credit is what is needed to get the RTK data as a client. And now you can pay for these data credits using either the credit card, which has been here for a long time, or using the Bono token. And that is now available on the main website, and that allows people who have collected Bonos as miners or who have acquired Bonos in anywhere where you might want to acquire Bono, to use this Bono to get the USDC. So, for example, if I demo here, buying 10 Bonos, using 10 Bonos to buy 4 USDCs at this exchange rate, there's then one transaction that comes in. I can then sign this transaction. That takes 10 Bonos.
I think it's a bit disrupted with audio quality, also video quality.
Okay, I'm sorry, then it's the audio quality. But as you can see now, the data credit balance has increased. And yeah, that was
I can also see your Bono balance has decreased. So
a little bit indeed, yeah.
Okay,
so now moving to the second part, yeah.
Go ahead.
So that means also that anyone
no, I was,
who... oh, sorry.
You can go on, Lucy. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to add that so anyone operating a miner station can access any other station for data, right? So I think it's a nice feature.
All right, Nathan, we have a question from the viewers. If the swap rate from Bono to DC will stay roughly the same in the future or not?
So it's connected to the price of Bono in one exchange, as you can see here on Orca. But there's both a ceiling and a floor. So the price at which we value Bono internally is around 0.423, which is the price at which we are willing to create data credits for one Bono. But if the price goes above that, then yeah, that will be the price that is being used, the price from the Orca market. So it's loosely connected. Yeah.
Okay. So that's $42, right? Because Nick just asked that.
Yeah, one data credit equals one USD, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I think that was answered there. Yeah, good point. Actually, I mean, it would be nice if we can just record a little video, maybe when you have some quiet time or something where this is showcased, so we can share it in the community and people can just see it and watch it anytime they want to, because I think that's a very relevant feature for a lot of people to be able to swap their Bono for data credits in case they want to use data credits, right? Otherwise, of course, you can just keep your Bono. And DC stands for data credit. That's correct, Stefan. Nathan, anything else from your side?
With regards to this feature, that's it. Yeah, that was all.
We have, in fact, updated the documentation about this feature, and yeah, video will follow shortly.
Okay.
Okay.
Lucy, do you want to take over for the second feature?
Sure, yeah, we do have a second feature that is not online yet, but it will be released in the coming days. It's the reward splitting feature. So this is a feature that we implemented also after request from the community. And it is a feature so that you're able to share your rewards with someone else. So for example, let's say I own a house with a nice rooftop where I will put my antenna for the mining station. But Nathan is the one who bought all the equipment. And then Nathan and I agree that we want to share the rewards 50-50. And then now we can, in fact, do that. If we go to our credentials tab, then we just click on the right drop-down menu for the register and say split rewards. And in there, we can now add a recipient, and we just need to put in the public key of the wallet of the other recipient besides me, and say what percentage of share that person will get. So for example, Nathan, you could put there 50%. As we said, we share our rewards 50-50. And then it will say, my wallet will receive 50% and Nathan's wallet will receive also 50%. And you can add up to 5 other recipients. So in case you have a very complicated type of sharing model, you can still add 5 different recipients. So then every time you claim your rewards, everyone will get the exact share.
All right.
And this one is for now
Sure.
not available on the main website, but it's going to come soon.
It's soon. Yeah, it's already implemented. We just have to release it.
Yeah, exactly. We just have to release it. Yeah. Okay. If that's all, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
I think Lucy, right?
Yeah, it's all from my side. If there aren't any questions from the audience.
Okay. Stop sharing then.
All right, perfect. Okay. Lucy, anything else you wanted to touch base on?
Not for now.
Okay, all right. Well, then there was one question from Gator Green related to saying, is this meant to overcome the issue of costs for purchase of an RTK station in emerging markets? Actually, I'm not sure if that's the case. You can see it in the chat on the side, Lucy, in case, or maybe Thomas.
I don't think it is addressing this problem directly, but indirectly it could be used for that. So what it means is that if Lucy buys a station and sends it to me, I mount it, then I do a bit of effort. She obviously has a financial effort, and we could split the rewards. So sure enough, out of, say, the Western world, we could finance deployments in Africa, Middle America, wherever. That is a business model that somebody could take up. So indirectly, the answer is yes, but directly, no. It's the station costs what it costs, right? So, but it can now be financed by somebody else, deployed by somebody else. We do see that there is a business model for so-called deployment partners that bulk buy station and then find people running them and sharing things. So that's to support this business model. And yes, hopefully this will then lead also to deployments in developing countries.
Yeah, okay. Then there is another follow-up question from Stefan on whether the share split mode can also be applied to stations that are already registered or only for new unregistered credentials.
Well, I mean, the credentials you can always unregister, right? So if it's already registered, and then you can unregister, claim all the rewards that are remaining, and then start a new registration with a split reward function if you want that.
Okay. I hope that helped you, Stefan. Then there was a question from Nick, which is a general one on what's the difference / similarity between onocoy and GeoNet. Maybe Thomi, you would be a good one to answer that one.
Yes. The key point is that we're this horizontal model I have shown before. So we're not building hardware. We're not selling added value service. So we leave room for companies at the bottom of the ecosystem and at the top of the ecosystem. So we're sort of the linkage to this. So our growth strategy is to expand the market. With GeoNet, this is somewhat different. They have a locked hardware, a project-specific hardware, which we don't. We're having our 6 hardware partners, and there are many more you could think of. Any existing station is connected, and we're leaving room for the correction service providers and for all the other companies to sell their service. GeoNet also has announced plans to do this, and they sell hardware. So technically, they're pretty much a vertically integrated operator with a Web3 sourcing strategy, whereas we're a true hardware agnostic open ecosystem leveraging Web3. So on the first glance, it looks very different, but our growth strategy is horizontal, as many accounts served, whereas theirs is more as much revenue per account. So there is quite a difference here. Doesn't look like it from the onset, but it's actually very different.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Then there was another question, but I think that was also already answered in the chat. If users or miners could share hardware, where was said that yes, I think from Eric Key, dual mining, that yes, we make the service / upgrade. Thomi, is there something you want to add to that?
I
mean,
don't fully grasp the. Can you share?
I mean, sharing hardware, I'm also not quite sure what that means, because I mean, for one station you need one receiver. It needs to be there.
Yeah.
Or is the meaning that you share it, for instance, with other projects?
Yeah, exactly. So the question was if it's possible to share hardware between GeoNet and onocoy. So basically to use the same station and receiver and setup for both projects.
From an onocoy perspective, this would be okay, but GeoNet prevents that by their encryption thing. But technically, the same receiver could serve both projects, and onocoy would not mind. We're not preventing it. If you find a way, you can connect it. And some people have found a way.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I was hinted to mention the onocoy Ambassador program. I think last time we had Sammy in here who was talking about that. And there has been some progress made. I think more details will be announced soon. So in case you want to become an ambassador to onocoy, this will be shared with you guys. And then you can also support the project publicly, become an ambassador and become part of the ambassador program. So yeah, I think that's also great news. And I don't see a lot of other questions being open. So in case there's nothing else that you guys wanted to mention, I would actually already start to come to an end. right? Okay, well, we got the chat open anyways, so guys, feel free to ask the questions in the chat anyways, right? And then, yeah, you will get supported, and yeah, stay with us. And if you have any questions, ask them anytime. Thanks a lot for being here again. Sorry for the initial kind of hassle with the YouTube live. It didn't work the way that we wanted it to, but I think we got the majority of people hopefully in here in the Discord in this environment with the AMA session. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us, and have a great rest of your day, evening, or morning, or wherever you are in the world. And talk to you very soon for the next update on March, which we will then be doing in April. All right, guys.
Thank you
Have a
so
good
much
one.
for moderating.
Take care.
Yep. Have a good day.